Hey guys, welcome to Coffee Hang. We're in a little bit of a different setup again today. And if you're on Spotify, we're in my beauty room or my closet room. I wanted to switch it up. Today's episode is more of a favorite things, a fun, girly episode. It's not too girly. We're going to talk a lot about food, and that is for everyone. So, my coffee today. I was thinking about it this morning. What are we going to do when it's super cold outside? We're probably still going to have iced. Don't worry. I'm that girl. I will do warm in the morning, but then afternoon we've got to have it iced, don't we? So we've got a new setup. I hope that you like it and the lighting's better. Praise the good Lord. So yeah, welcome whatever day you're listening to it. I release these every Saturday, so happy Saturday if you're listening on the morning that it is released. Today's episode is a favorite things episode. I am probably going to start doing these for the last Saturday of every month, which is crazy that when this comes out, it will be the last Saturday in July. And like, where did July go? It was just the 4th of July. It's crazy. So here we are. We're about to head into August, which is like, is August still summer or is August autumn? I think technically it's still summer, but curious. I personally am ready for autumn. I'm gonna be that gal. And normally I don't feel this way because my family goes to the beach normally in the late part of the summer, like July, August time. So like summer growing up into me was like June, July, August, and living in the South, like it was always really warm. But then I worked retail and my seasons were ahead of everyone else. I mean, Halloween is out now. I was in Anthro the other day and seeing the girls, and Halloween's out, like fall is out. So, to those of you who are cringing that we're talking about that, I'm so sorry. I see you, but I also, once you work retail, it's really hard to not already be in that next season. And these are the 3 things I'm blaming. Anthro, my love. And I saw that Magnolia Home, Joanna Gaines, Hearth and Hand, whatever it's called, launched their fall line at Target, and it's so cute. I was on I have the Google app. I opened it. Or no, I was trying to go to Google Home. Anyways, it opened and I was like, "Oh, there's news articles on here. What are those?" And I saw that they had launched it. And also, while I was on there, I saw that Starbucks released their fall menu. So, and that comes out August 20. I'm going to tell y'all. I'm going to tell you so that you can put it in your calendars. August 26th. So, that is very exciting. So, yeah, these are all the things that are kind of making me ready to go into autumn, fall. It's also just been so warm here. I have not really enjoyed being outside as much this summer. I'm thankful to have summer. Like, seasons are lovely, and I have always lived in a place where there's seasons. Even when I was in England, like, I still experienced the warm Aprils and then had the really cold snows. Like, I have yet to live somewhere where I don't experience seasons, so I'm really thankful, and I know that that is a thing where some people live. All that to say, I'm super excited. And I feel like I'm also ready to just kind of go into a new season. I got married in May, went on my honeymoon. We came home to just like lifing. And I am like, okay, here we are. We're like in a season, like moving into August, and I feel like I'm finally catching my breath. I also decided to start my own worlds, and Ev has his work that's going off. So it's just like, I feel like I'm finally catching a breath, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready for fall. Here we go. So all that to say, we're gonna wrap up July in a cute little box, and we're gonna send it off because we're ready for those cooler mornings and evenings, and if you live in a place where you have that in between, you know what I'm talking about. It is, like, so yummy when those mornings and those evenings happen. It's like, yeah, it'll still be warm in the day, but then you have that cool breeze. That is my perfect day. So, let's get into our July favorites. This reminds me of those YouTube videos that people used to do, and it was all about beauty and skincare, and even Evan was asking, he was like, "Are you just talking about, like, makeup?" And I was like, "No. This is a podcast, and this is for everyone. We are talking about anything and everything that I have found that I love, and I am a creature of habit, but I'm also a creature of once I find one thing, I will wear it out." And so that's what this list has in it. So we'll get there. But starting off with what I've been using to go to sleep, y'all, I don't love insects. I don't want them to jump on me. Like, I can watch them outside of the window, but I do want to hear them when I'm going to sleep. What kind of strange thing is happening in my brain? I have been loving on Spotify, there's an album, I'll link it below, that is crickets. And it's crickets and like other insects that are outside. But growing up in Alabama, my bedroom, I'd like linked all this together. Growing up in Alabama, my bedroom, I slept, like my head slept next to a window. So I think as I would go to sleep for those 20 years of my life, I would hear the crickets and all the different bugs that were around. And so that's what would lull me to sleep every night, and it didn't hit me until I was living with Evan, and he, like, puts his earplugs in, his eye mask on, all the things, and I'm like, "I'm doing nothing, like, what's happening?" And so I found an album, like I said, I'll link it below, and it's crickets from Georgia, like, they're from a close region, like, they sound like my crickets that are here, and I sleep like a baby, I'm not kidding. It's a beautiful time. So that is my first thing. Second thing is magazines. I have one right here. I love magazines. I have always loved them. They're like a little museum. It's a portable museum that you can take with you. But I've started using them as like my light reading in the morning when I'm eating my breakfast, or honestly something else to do other than get on my phone. Because as I've been creating more content, when I'm in my lulls, I kind of don't want to also be on all the different apps. I try to give my brain a break. So I have recently went back to my love for magazines, and there's articles all, listen, there's fashion ones. There's also, in one of them I just read, there was this really cool article about sound baths and like how music is healing, which I like am all for. And I've never done a sound bath, but I'm talking about like music is healing. And it just, it's different people than me writing articles, and I love learning. So that has been some of my favorite things to do kind of in my downtime at the moment. Next thing is I have, if anyone knows me, this is going to be groundbreaking. I have a new coffee order. I really don't. I'm still an iced Americano with splash of oat milk and extra ice gal. You will catch me doing that everywhere. Unless I'm feeling bold. So, story time. I was at a race with Evan, and we were at the coffee shop, and I was about to drive home. He had just ridden 67 miles. I was like, "Babe, you take a break, I'll drive." And it was like later in the day. So I was like, I really should get like a coffee just so I stay like peppy. I told the barista, I was like, "Listen, I don't know that I can do another full like 12-ounce, some places are 16-ounce iced Americano with a splash of oat milk extra ice. Like, I need maybe like smaller ratios. And I was like, is like an iced cappuccino a thing? Like, and she was like, what if we do an iced cortado? And I was like, tell me what that's about. And anyways, they made it. It was perfect. So I'm not a barista, but this is what I understand it to be. Equal parts espresso and milk, just over ice. It's literally perfect. And because I take forever to drink my coffees, when the ice melted, it was like an iced Americano. So yeah, that has been my new favorite thing. Well, and it also was inspired. One of my gal friends was at a coffee shop in Franklin and got an iced cappuccino, and it looked amazing. So that's also what started it. But in that same vein, Starbucks's fall menu features a pecan cortado. So I will be going down a new journey come August 26th to try this drink. And I will say, when it comes to Starbucks, I go back and forth around like if I like it or not. But let me tell y'all something. When I was on my honeymoon and we were in Milan, when we were just in Italy in general, I was craving an ice drink. Starbucks Reserve saved my booty because we were in Milan and I was like, Ev, I have been in this country for a week and a half and I've done it their way. I've had the hot. I need an iced something. And so we found Starbucks Reserve in Milan. And of course, it's so bougie and so nice. It's like the best of the best, isn't it? I had at least 4 over the span of 3 days. It was so good. So, anyways, Starbucks, thank you. Always will have my heart because you saved me the latter part of that week. In the same vein as coffee shops, this next part we're going to move into is some of my favorite food and coffee within Nashville. Ev and I are big foodie people, and so is one of my best friends, Rachel. We are always sending places back and forth. And I want to start off with this new place that I had sent Rachel, or maybe Rachel had sent me back a few weeks ago. It is called Pasties, and or pasties. No, it's not. It's pasties. And it is like an old New York bistro. It's very vibey. So Rachel and I, lovers of all things New York and just the whole New York vibe, we're craving to go back. Blah, 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 blah. We were like, we will be going. So we went. Definitely book in advance if you can. Or you can wait out at the bar. Very New York vibes where it's like you got to be a little like confrontational and a little like ready to pounce. And that's when I said, Rachel, this is your job. Long story short, we got seats at the bar and we ordered I'm not going to say the exact names of what we got because I don't know them, but it was like a French onion soup. Rachel got a Caesar salad and then I got a steak sandwich. It was incredible. The wine was great. She got a red, I got a white. It was incredible. And the atmosphere is awesome. It's loud. It's very New York. So, like, definitely go try it. The food is great. The prices are very normal to everything else here in Nashville. Like, nothing was surprising. And yeah, everyone who worked there was great as well. So, definitely try that out. It's in Wedgwood, Houston area, by the way, if you live in town. So the next place that I want to shout out is called Waymore's All Day Cafe. Ev and I discovered this place when we were going to a Sunday brunch one week. Ev actually found it and he was like, babe, this looks like your vibe. And I was like, okay, Ev, show me. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful interior. Very like velvet couches, 70s. The bar, like everything in there is beautiful. Their breakfast foods are incredible. Everything is fresh. Everything is local. Again, I'm not reading this word for word. This is just from my memory, so I'm sorry if I get some of it wrong. But I remember talking to the waiter, and that's what he was saying. And you can tell. I did a traditional breakfast one morning, and it was incredible. And then Ev did like a yogurt parfait one time. He did pancakes. And then I did a burrito. It was all so, so good. Very normal breakfast food, but you can tell it's good quality, and I really liked it. So definitely check that out. It's a vibe. You don't have to book in for it. So you can just show up. The next place is Curry Boys Barbecue here in East Nashville. I was not sure what to expect, but I cannot wait to go back. It is Korean fusion barbecue place. It is so good, y'all. And it's in this little pink house. And it's got like nachos, it's got like curry, it's got so many different things, but with barbecue in it. And you will be full when you leave. That's how I'll put it. And they have some really fun drinks too. Not even like alcoholic, just really fun drinks that were very summery. I did not try any of those, but they definitely caught my eye and I want to go back. Okay, next place we went to for Evan's birthday, Rolf and Daughters. It is I don't know if this is the right term. Again, not a waitress, not a professional in this area. But I think it's like you would say a tapas style place. It's like smaller plates, or there was like how me and Evan and his parents did it was we shared a couple of the first courses and then each did our own like meal. So you can do it either way, but that's kind of how I would categorize that place. I had the best pasta. It was so good. And then we had something raw fish as a starter, and that was incredible. I don't normally do fish unless I'm next to the coast because it makes me nervous. But there, it was very good, and the wine was good. The staff was great. Definitely book in. There is two different styles of seating there. There's like in the middle tables, like two large tables with a bunch of chairs. So like you probably would be dining next to someone else, or there are the like private tables on the perimeter. I feel like some places don't explain these things, so that's why I feel the need to explain them. I didn't know that that's how it worked. I like had to like dig a little bit, and it was great. So next place, Bill's Sandwich Palace. Oh, y'all. That I have pictures of all this food, and I go back and look at this stuff and I'm like, how do I recreate this at my house? Because I would eat this sandwich I had from Bill's every day if I could. It was, and I know they changed their menu around, but this one was called the Rachel, and it had, I think it was turkey. It had a meat, and then it had chips, and it was a very like normal sandwich, but there were chips and there was this certain sauce, and on a almost like a hamburger bun. Like it was incredible, and it was not that heavy. I remember Ev's sandwich he had was more of an Asian style sandwich, and that one felt heavier. Still incredible. But I remember tasting that and being like, okay, like that one I need to get when I'm starving. So that place, definitely check it out. It's amazing. You walk into the counter and you order, and then you go sit and wait. You can also order ahead. Frankie's. The pizza part, y'all, hear me out. There were wings. And I clocked these wings on a menu a few days prior, and I said, Evan, if we go in there and they don't have these wings, I'm going to be so sad. They had the wings. It was incredible. You know what? I'm going to look up the name of the wings because it's worth me saying. Calabrian chili wings is what it's called. They are not that hot if you've not had that chili, because I asked, I was like, do I need to be prepared? And he was like, no, you'll be great. And so I had those, and I was like, these are So good. Again, not a heavy sauce, more like a light sauce that you can eat by itself or dip in the ranch that they give you. So I definitely will be having those again. I hope they don't leave the menu too soon. And then we also got slices of pizza that were incredible. I know I just went off about the wings. The pizza was so good. Some of the best pizza I've had since being back from Italy. And they're huge slices too. And you just go in and you can pick kind of what they've made, slices from there, or you can order your own full pizza and all that. So, very, very cool place. And it's right next to the railroad. So you can sit outside, watch the rail cars go by, or just enjoy the inside too. I feel like I'm like, this is turned into a podcast of travel to Nashville. That was not the point. Um, no, I just realized how much I was looking back through my July on my phone out on my photo album on my phone. And I was like, gosh, we had some good food and I just need to shout it out because those restaurants deserve to be shouted out. We're watching The Bear right now, and so I'm like, those people are sweating. They are putting their blood and tears into this. They deserve to be shouted out. Next place, going into more coffee style places, is Sun Life Organics. I don't know if any of you have had it out of LA, but that's the first time I had it. The influencers I followed that were out there would always talk about it. And when we were in LA for a wedding a year or so ago, we were in Malibu and there was one there. And I was like, Ev, we have to go. And I got the strawberry matcha, the famous strawberry matcha, and it's incredible. It's worth the hype. They also have smoothies and like so many other things. It's very organic and fresh. It's definitely worth a visit. So that, and then two other coffee places I'm loving right now. I love so many coffee places. You can literally text me if you're ever in town and are like, what's your favorite coffee places in these parts of town? And I will tell you. Or DM me. But right now, a few of my favorites. Osa, and how I first discovered them, they used to come to the Franklin Farmers Market. And I would specifically, when I wasn't working that Saturday, get up and go before anyone else could get there. And it was incredible. And I remember telling Evan, there was just one Saturday they weren't there. And I was so sad. I was like, I didn't even like clock what their name was. I remember there was a picture. Like, I was trying to describe it to Evan. He was like, babe, is it this place? And like, this was 6 months after they had stopped, I guess, coming to the farmer's market. And Evan was like, babe, is this it? And when we had found it, I was so excited. It's just great coffee. You literally go order at the window and it's just an easy to go place. But the coffee is really good, really smooth. And I just am so glad my long lost coffee love is back. My next place is the place that I go to all the time, is Elegy. They have multiple locations throughout the city. I personally love the one over in Germantown because you can sit outside, you can walk around. There's like this new part of Germantown over there. It's like industrial looking, ruin like looking, and you can kind of walk around it all. But always good vibes, really good food. If you ever need to eat, when you're in those coffee places that either don't have food, just have pastries, or the food's not good. Elegy's not one of those. They actually have some really cool burritos that have like sweet potato in them, or their bagel sandwiches are really good. I just love Elegy, and it's a really good coffee shop. You can also order ahead there. That's a big plus for me, especially if Ev and I are going out of town. I'm like, you okay if I order ahead? So you can order ahead with them. But I always get an iced Americano with a splash of oat milk, and it is incredible. And it's those zippy lids. Even though I've started putting a straw in so that my teeth just don't always have coffee stain on them. But they have those lids, and it's just a vibe in there. You can also go work in there, and it's the one in Germantown, and it's just a really cool place to be. So that is, we'll see if in August that's still my favorite place. I'll keep shouting it out if it is. But one that I want to mention that's not in Nashville, it's in a very random place, Mars Hill, North Carolina. I have to shout this place out because they were like my home for 48 hours when Ev had a race out there, and it is the sweetest coffee shop. It's right outside of their college that's in that town. It's called Camden Coffee Shop. So if you're ever in that area, definitely check it out. Their smoothie, King Julian, incredible. All their smoothies, I'm sure, are great because Eb had a different kind and it was really good. But King Julian, I had twice. It was just right next to where Ev was racing, so I easily could run up there and get food. And that's the barista who also helped me do an iced cortado in my time of need. And it was incredible. They also had empanadas that were breakfast empanadas, and then they had like a vegan empanada, like with some sort of sauce that I still dream about to this day. It was incredible. So definitely check them out if you're in that area. If you're ever in that area, that's just a great, great coffee shop. And I could not shout them out because they literally fed me for like 3 meals. So that's all the food and coffee I have for this month. Moving in to the next category is like health and wellness things. So the first thing I want to shout out is fresh produce from like your grocery store or your farmer's market. I have tried to start cooking more veggies for Ev and I. We are creatures of habit, and we'll have chicken, rice, and broccoli for every dinner if we could. So I've tried to branch us out, but I've also tried to get the veggies that are in season, and just like our bodies have loved it, and we feel better and we feel good. And like I said, you don't have to go to the farmer's market to get that. Your grocery store has it, and it's kind of the same price. I was surprised. Anyways, fresh produce has been something that we have been loving in this household for this month, and I am very thankful that we got on that train. Next thing is morning walks. I know I've talked about this in a couple different places in this world, and I love it so much. It is something that I've found as an outlet for me that has helped give me time away from technology, time away like just by myself. I like get up before anyone else is up, my husband included, and go just walk around my neighborhood. And it is so nice because it's also like nothing, and the roads has started getting loud. The railroad is not like started going, like it's just very quiet. And so that is such an easy and simple thing, but I just guess I hadn't thought about doing it since I had lived here, or really just felt the need to do it. And that has been one of my favorite things to do this whole month. And it's so much cooler in the morning. So it helps me get my steps in too before it gets super hot. The next thing is taking a pause in the day. So whether you work from home or whatever you do for work, I like to even just put it in my calendar, like put an hour or 30 minutes or 10 minutes, like whatever you can give, and just like get away from whatever I'm doing. And I will either like go outside for 10 minutes, or I will go to a coffee shop for an hour and not take my computer. Something that is different from what I've been doing for that first part of the day. And it has been so nice for my brain to just breathe. Taking a pause has been one of those things that's been so helpful and beneficial to me, even being creative or moving forward in my day and not getting stuck. So definitely, if you haven't started doing that, you don't have to do it every day. Don't like, I'm one of those that's like, if I force myself to do something, a new thing, like every single, like it can just get too in your head. So like, just try it out whenever you think about it. But the next thing is I have been trying to make sure I connect with, especially now that I work from home, I have been trying to make sure I connect with friends throughout the week, whether that's seeing them, texting with them, FaceTiming, or just making sure I don't get too like down in my hole and in my bubble. And it has been such a good lifeline for me because there was a few weeks there on and off where I like didn't do that. And I felt so lonely, even though I like live with my husband and like he works too. But it's just like you got to have people outside of your partner. And I have just been trying to make that a habit and know that about myself. Maybe other people aren't that way, but that's something that I personally need and want in my life. Is just good friend connection throughout the week. Next thing is fresh flowers. Hear me out. If you are like malls that's like really expensive or whatever, I have a tip for you. And I'm going to give this tip away even if it ends up going viral and I never get to do this again. I'm being silly. I've started getting the flowers at Kroger that they have marked down, but hear me why. I don't always get those because sometimes they do look really bad, but there have been a handful of times now. I've walked in and the flowers that they have marked down, nothing is wrong with them. Literally, they need their leaves clipped off and a trim at the end and pop them in water. They'll last for 2 weeks. Now, don't get those delicate ones, like the little leaf that almost is like you could see through it. Those are not going to last. The ones that are like of the daisy family that are thicker, you're going to have those for 2 weeks. Thank me later. And it's a good way if your husband is like, babe, like not $8 for that, like whatever. Can you tell that this conversation has happened in my own life? And I'm like, babe, listen, these are marked down $4. Like, trust me. And that's not how the interaction went down. That's how it went down in my head. But I was like, Ev, this is something that brings me a lot of happiness in the week. And we do have people who come through our house a lot. And I would love for it to be homey and inviting. And it's one of those things. And he was like, cool, okay. And I was like, these flowers, if you ever see this kind and they're on markdown, grab them. We literally will have them for 2 weeks. I have some in there right now that I've had for going on 3 weeks now. Keep the water cleaned out, clip them. You're going to be great. Then the last thing in the same flower vein is the flowers that are around Nashville that I actually learned this past weekend are native to Tennessee. They're called purple coneflower. You've probably seen them and not realized this is what they are, but they're the ones that look like a daisy, but they're almost look like they're distressed. They're like this. Literally looks like these are the petals and like the middle of the flowers at the top words. Those are called purple coneflowers and they're native to Tennessee. And I was telling Ev after our flowers that are not native to Tennessee got scorched, I was like, babe, maybe we like need to get those because clearly they last around here and they're all over the landscaping throughout the city. And so anyways, those have become my favorite flowers this month. And every time I see them, I just get so happy. And they planted a bunch of them at where I was telling you in Germantown, in that new like industrial part. And they're so pretty. They're purple and gorgeous. Okay, y'all, that is all the favorites I have for this July. I'm so curious, some of yours. There's a huge spider outside my window. I'm watching it take its prey. It's just like it's a bug's life in real life. I feel like I should help it. It got away. All right, y'all. That is all the favorites I have for this month. I can't wait to see what favorites y'all have and what favorites we have at the end of August. Like what we're vibing with. Is it the same? Is it different? Thank you so much for listening or watching wherever you're at, Spotify or YouTube. Thank you so much for taking the time and chatting with me. And this has been so much fun. So I will see y'all in the next one. Bye, guys.